Hey guys, welcome back to episode 11 of me working on my M Coupe, getting it ready for the wrap. Within this episode, I will be working on my side skirts along with my front fender. Hopefully I can finalize that by the end of possibly tonight. So let's go ahead and get started on the fender. So this is my front fender and well, it's just about done actually. The only thing I need to do is essentially sand it down. It's not really sand down, it's sand up from 600 to 1000. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get to work on this. Alright, so now the front fender is officially done, time to work on the side skirts. I'm going to sand this down with 400 grit and then move on to 600 to 1000 and then afterwards put on automotive primer. Then this should be done. Alright, I just sanded up from 600 to 1000 to 1500. Now, the side skirt is relatively very smooth, so it's time to spray on the regular automotive primer. After that, I can use 1000 to 1500, then this side skirt should be good to go. Also, if you notice, I also prepped the place too, so time to get spraying. Alright, up next we have the A-pillar along with the door. As you can see, there is a chunk of paint missing along with over here. I first gotta sand this down first. Alright, so I just finished removing all of the little rust spots that were really bothering me, especially with this side of the door and the A-pillar. But now I'm gonna mask off the area, scuff it up, and then it should be ready for self-etching primer. Alright, time to get spraying on this part. Alright, I just finished spraying the door along with the A-pillar. After I sprayed it, if I recall, you were supposed to remove the masking right after, so when you peel it off later on, it won't, tear off the rest of it. In doing so, I think I peeled the masking off a little bit too early. If you look on screen now, you can see that within the A-pillar, my fingernail dug into the primer, and on the door side, the paper for the masking I used, well, that touched it. As you can see by the shape or the indentation on it, that is quite literally what happened. I'm gonna let this dry and see what I'll be working with. Hopefully, I'm actually really hoping that once this dries, I'm able to sand it off flat. It really frustrates me. I think a common recurring theme within this entire process is just me being impatient. As you can tell, I'm very frustrated with that, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna see what I can do once it fully dries to see if I can actually save it. Worst case scenario, I'll just mask it off again and then I'll primer it again, but yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna clap now. It's gonna fast forward to a couple days. Alright, so a couple days have passed and well, I am going to finish off this side skirt so I can put this to the side, then I can continue working on the door along with the A-pillar. As you can see with the door, I already went ahead and played with it a little bit to see if I could just blend it in so I didn't have to do the entire car. But after I consulted Harmon, he told me I should do the whole thing, at least have the whole door as one single coat. So that means I'm gonna have to take this door off and actually completely primer it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and work on the side skirt. Alright, so I did some final touches after I went from 1000 to 1500. There's some spots where it went to the self-etching primer, so I decided to put a layer of automotive primer on top just so it can be a complete layer of automotive primer. So with that being said, this side skirt on the driver's side needs to go somewhere to dry, and in the meantime, I'll be working on the A-pillar. Now we're at the A-pillar, and the goal for today is to essentially sand down, get all the rust spots off the A-pillar, and then fill it in with self-etching primer, then filler primer, and then automotive primer. As for the door, I think I'm gonna have to figure this out next episode. Getting really hard to find a motivation to continue doing this. I'm probably not gonna put that in there. That being said, let's go ahead and mask off the area that I don't want to get sanded, and yeah, we can start from there. I finished scuffing and sanding the areas where there's rust, and I went over the whole entire thing with a flashlight. I found this little speck of rust right here along with one over here. I don't think I probably would have caught that had I not done the whole thing. If I just decided to blend that part in that was scratched over there, I probably would never have found these little rust spots. But now this A-pillar is completely rust free. I can move on to self-etching primer. And this is pretty much good to go. I just need to let it dry so I can block sand it or just hand sand it using guide coat and then add on another layer of automotive primer, then, sanding it again, then the A-pillar should be done. With that being said, I'm gonna clap now and it's gonna continue to the next day. Alright, it is now the next day. The A-pillar has finished drying and I also put on some guide coat when I arrived. So now it's time to start sanding so I can actually put on the automotive primer. So now this is pretty much ready to go. I'm gonna spray it with automotive primer, then afterwards I'm gonna sand it again up to 1500 grit. Then this A-pillar should be done. I can move on to a next panel. Alright, so I just finished putting on the automotive primer on the A-pillar. Now I do want to start working on this door a little bit more. So to get started, I'm just gonna have to move this mirror to remove this part. Just gonna move it like that. You have access to 2 Torx bolts, I think. I need to remove the door handle too. So as you can see right here, there's a part that I just basically took off and I put it back in because I had no idea what I was doing. So took this it's 2 pieces. I took this piece off and now this piece comes off with ease. You just got to, like that. Inside there should be a brass rod. All you gotta do is push it and the gasket should come off. Straight off. And now my gasket for the door handle is literally disintegrating. As you can see, it's just all fallen apart. I will probably order new ones actually. Now I need to take off that stupid door. Thomas, remember this later. This one right here is what connects to the door. All right, let's see what connects to the mirror. Once you unbolt this. What the fuck is this bolt for? Now this goes to... Cool. Now that I have the mirror gone along with the door gasket or door cover, I can now work around it. So I don't actually have to physically take off the entire door, which won't be too hard, but yeah. Now I can start working on this door. Alright, now the door has been scuffed up and the door has been masked off. Now I can spray on self-etching primer. And then afterwards I'm going to use filler primer to try to fill in the dents because the dents aren't too bad. And it seems like I can just fill it in with filler primer. So yeah, let's go ahead and get spraying. Alrighty, so the door has been self-etching primered and filler primered, and all I gotta do now is just to let this dry. In the meantime, let's go ahead and look at the side skirt. Alright, this is the side skirt as where it currently stands. What I gotta do right now is I need to sand it using 1000 to 1500, and this side skirt should be good, and I can put this on the side. I also apologize in advance if my couple of videos that I filmed before this were a little bit more fast-paced, or if I'm not really able to get the chance to really explain to you or talk to you in regards to like how I feel about the process. I'm just really focused on trying to get everything done, so yeah, let's go ahead and get sanding. So far, here are all the pieces that are pretty much done. I need to find a place to put them actually. First up, we have the front bumper. As you can see, it is quite shiny. You can tell by the reflection. Let me see if I can find a point where you can see how reflective it is or shiny it is. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but the front bumper is pretty much good to go. I need to put this on the side somewhere. Next up, we have the front fender, which is this piece right here. It is super smooth and pretty much good for the wrap. We also have the side skirt. This is pretty much good to go now. Now all 3 of these parts needs to be stored somewhere safely just so I don't ruin all of my work, along with the door, which is kind of like 80% done, and the A-pillar, which is kind of like 90% done. The driver's side is almost ready to go. All I need to do is a quarter panel and then the rear bumper. Then I can move on to the trunk, then the other side's front fender, then the other side's side skirts, the other side's door, other side's rear quarter panel. Not gonna lie to you guys, it is quite difficult trying to find motivation to continue working on it. I'm solely relying on my own personal discipline to literally come here after hours of work or on my weekends and trying to actually get all of this done so that, you know, the wrap is good to go. So with that being said, I am going to call this specific part an episode. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh shit. Deuces.